like you're running so fast, trying to get somewhere, but yet you still end up back in the same place? That's kind of how we look when we try to rush the process and get to the finish line. What about if we slow down and pick up momentum when it naturally comes? While still making your way to the top of that mountain. Hey guys, welcome to film number 3 of Motivation and Messages. If you don't know, we are on a 100-day countdown of this year, and every 10 days, I'm going to be creating a film with a message that I feel God is calling me to say. With that being said, today's message is your direction is more important than your speed. Now, this is something that I feel we have adapted into this culture of hustle culture, grinding, no sleep culture, all of these different things that we've adapted to in our environment where we just focus on the goal, we put our head down, and we don't really prioritize exactly where we're going. Like you're going fast, but you're going nowhere fast. At the end of the day, it leads to burnout. It leads to being overwhelmed. And it really leads to you not even being able to fully cherish or even sit in what you've created, because by the time you even get to sit down, it's kind of like you have nothing left to give. You know what I'm saying? And so something that I had heard is said, when the devil can't stop you, he will try to speed you up. Now that was a word for me, because sometimes we're so good at what we do, we have so much faith in what we're doing that it's really hard to knock us off of our path, But what I realize is that these thoughts try to conform in our mind that we should be here by now, we should be doing this by now, we should have this amount of money by now, we should be living this kind of life by now. And we kind of move away from the process and we try to jump straight into the finish line. And I want to encourage myself and others that when we move too fast, there are so many things that we are missing through the journey that we're going to need to take with us to the next level. So you're going so fast, right? You're like, you know what? I'm not even going to fully process anything. I'm just going to get to where I'm going as fast as I can. And we kind of miss out on the key things that were meant for us to experience on the journey, not to just get to the destination. So for instance, our characteristics. There are things that there's wisdom that we're going to need to learn. There's things that we're going to need to be changing about ourselves. And the only way to fully, go through those changes is when we are actually present in the moment in what we're doing. We're not trying to do it fast. We're not trying to settle, and we're not trying to hurry up and win in life, but we're really taking our time and not allowing life to force us and push us in a way where we don't even get to enjoy it anymore. It's more so like, this is not even about the experience anymore. This is more so about getting the accolades or, saying that I did it. And I feel like God is calling us to be more than just a person with accolades. I feel like God is calling us to be people who are diligent in their assignments. The accolades is cool, right? When you get, recognized for your work and all of these things, I think that's so deep. But at the same time, I want to be recognized for my intentionality on this path. I want to be recognized for the absolute patience and the absolute care and the absolute focus that you can tell that I put into my work. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like God doesn't even call us to be busy. He calls us to be fruitful. So if you're being so busy, if you're just, you're getting so many things done that nothing really purposeful is coming out of it, you really are neglecting and depriving yourself of things on your path that if you are just going in the pace of grace, when you are actually taking the time to say, what am I going to do today, and focusing on how you're going to do it, you actually learn something, you actually feel something, you actually get better. And the last thing I want is to be going so fast that I miss so many things that are flying. Things are just flying right past you. Purpose, peace, friends, community, fun. Because you're just going this way. And you're going so fast. And the last thing also I want to say is you don't want to mishear God's direction. It's going to be hard to hear God when you're constantly moving. The best way to hear God is in stillness, is in that solitude, is in that downtime where you are dedicating a time for yourself and God to really hear what he's telling you to do, to really understand what he's telling you, right? We can't constantly be moving when we don't have the instructions first. Like, where are you going if you don't even know where you're going yet? Where could you possibly be going? You don't even know where you're going. You don't even know what God is asking you to do. So when we figure out what God is asking us to do, and then we wait for his first instruction, then we take that first step, right? And now things are going to start unraveling how they're supposed to unravel versus you're going so fast that things actually start breaking down and crashing down because you are not even able to take care of things as you are going along your path. And the last thing I want to be is so overwhelmed on my path and my journey that I'm really not even being able to look back and say, I remember that, or this has fed me during this time, or I learned so much. But I go so fast that when I get to a place, it's kind of like I'm really in the same spot, because I promise you, if you don't learn what you need to learn, if you don't gain what you need to gain in the midst of your path, you're going to have to repeat it. Okay, you're not gonna be able to go to that next level until you actually get what you need to get to that next level. Now, sometimes you see people manipulate these things. They find easy way out to get the things that they want, but that's a superficial blessing. That's not a God's blessing. And those things, they go away fast, okay? Whatever you get outside of God's will, you're gonna have to stay out of his will to keep it. So let's keep that in mind, that when you try to get things fast and you don't really try to become the person you need to become to even know how to have those things, to even be able to be grateful for those things, to be able to even sustain those things, they're gonna go away, and then you're gonna find yourself back in the same place trying to get back to where you were, because again, you didn't learn the things that you needed to learn to have it in the first place. So I just want to encourage me, and I want to encourage you, that know where you're going, know the direction in which you're going, be intentional about your things, okay? Create a routine, create a plan, have a system in place so that when you hear from God and he tells you where you're going, you know exactly how you're going to get there. And you also know the things that you need to do to stay there. And if you so happen to make a mistake, you know exactly how to get back to where you were. And you won't always know what's ahead. Okay, I'm not saying that as far as direction, meaning you're going to know every single step in front of you. But the reality is, when you actually know where you're going and why you're going there, think about the why. Sometimes the why is the direction. When you know why you're going where you're going, when you know the purpose in what you're doing, it's kind of like things start to naturally and supernaturally come into your path to lead you and guide you on that, right? So when you do it on your own and you try to be fast, you got to figure everything out, okay? The from the top to the bottom, and you get burnt out because we're not equipped to do these things on our own. But when we actually consult God about what it is that we believe, he can bring people. He will bring the finances, the resources, and all of these things that we're going to need, right, to stay on the path without having to sacrifice ourselves and sacrifice our friendships and our family, spending time with our family and not getting rest and, just overspending and not having anything. God is going to provide all of those things so that we can stay focused on what he's calling us to do. Because that's another thing. Oh, this is so good. And we're going to wrap it up right here because I feel it. I feel it coming together. The enemy wants you to be worried about the money. The enemy wants you to be worried about your rent. The enemy wants you to be worried about relationships. The enemy wants you to be worried about your car breaking. Like, the enemy wants to bring all of these things into fruition for you so that you may manifest these thoughts, that you may manifest these emotions that will cause you to slip up and go separate ways and not really be adamant in listening to God. So when you're on the right path and you're going in the direction in which God has called you to go, you will know that no matter what happens, good or bad, God got something for that. He's going to handle it. He's going to take care of it. And it's all going to be for a good reason. But when you're outside of that and you're just with your head down trying to figure things out, it seems like everything keeps going bad and things keep happening to you. And why is this happening to me? Well, maybe because you're not going in the direction in which you were called to go. So don't try to rush. Don't try to be fast. Don't be hasty. Walk with the pace of grace, okay? Stride to where you're going. Don't strive. Stride to where you're going. And watch how beautiful life gets, and watch how things open up for you in a way where you're like, I'm happy where I'm at. I'm not trying to hurry up and get somewhere. I'm happy right where God has planned to me, and I can enjoy this because good things are happening right here. I love you guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys are enjoying these films as I am in these messages. I'm doing what I can with what I got, and I'm so grateful to be on this journey. So I see you guys in the next one. Let's get to it.